Welcome to another episode of Salty's Egg Balls, where we continue discussing about my favorite NFL head coaches of all time. Today, we're going to be talking about two-time Super Bowl winning head coach Tom Coughlin. So Tom Coughlin started off his career in the NFL in 1984, where he became the wide receivers coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. In 1987, he became the wide receivers coach for the Green Bay Packers. And in 1988, he became the wide receivers coach at the New York Giants, where he worked under legendary head coach Bill Parcells. His time at the Giants was successful. He managed to win his first Super Bowl ring as an assistant at Super Bowl 25, where the Giants beat the Buffalo Bills. In 1991, he went to college football and became the head coach at Boston College. In 1995, he was named the head coach of the expansion franchise Jacksonville Jaguars. In his 8 seasons, he appeared in 4 playoff appearances. 2 of those were AFC Championship games. However, after the 2002 season, the Jacksonville Jaguars fired Tom Coughlin. In 2004, he was appointed as the head coach of the New York Giants. The same year, the Giants drafted quarterback Eli Manning. In 2006, he led the Giants to the NFC wildcard game, only to lose to divisional rivals, the Eagles. 2007 was where Tom Coughlin had his first success as a head coach. He led a 10-6 wildcard team all the way to Super Bowl 42, where they faced the undefeated 18-0 New England Patriots. The Giants caused one of the biggest shocks in NFL history, beating the Patriots 17-14. In 2008, he led the Giants to the NFC divisional game, only to lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. During the time between the 2009 and 2010 seasons, the Giants failed to make the playoffs, and there was a lot of heat in the New York media for a change of coaching due to the lack of playoff appearances. In 2011, the Giants would make another run to the playoffs. After going 9-7 during the regular season, the Giants went all the way to Super Bowl 46, where they faced the New England Patriots for a rematch of Super Bowl 42. Giants caused another upset on the Patriots, winning that game 21-17, and Tom Coughlin winning his second Super Bowl in 4 years. After the success of Super Bowl 46, the Giants suffered again by not making the playoffs in 4 years. In 2015, Coughlin resigned from the Giants, in which he stated later in interviews that he was forced to resign by the ownership. Coughlin returned to Jacksonville as a vice president of football operations, but in 2019, he got fired by Jags owner Shahid Khan. During his time as Giants coach, Coughlin mentored players like Eli Manning, Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, Osi Umenyiora, Matthias Kiwanuka, Antonio Pierce, Chris Snee, Victor Cruz, Hakeem Nicks, Plaxico Burress, Lawrence Tynes, Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw, Jason Pierre-Paul, and Jeremy Shockey. Tom Coughlin, for me, is probably one of the most iconic head coaches the NFL has seen in the past 15 years. The way he lifted his team, who were underdogs, and lifted the Super Bowl twice in 4 years, is quite a special feat to have, to be fair. His run in 2007 is like a fairy tale story. I mean, he gets a team who are not even favored to enter the playoffs, takes it all the way into the Super Bowl, and face a New England team that were like 18-0 undefeated, and caused one of the biggest upsets in NFL history. And even his 2011 run, he goes into 2011 playoff run, which I think the playoff run was a lot more harder than 2007. They faced a lot more stronger teams. They played Green Bay at Lambeau Field. Green Bay were current champions that year. Then they played the 49ers, who are a very, very strong team defensively, in the NFC Championship game at Candlestick. And they had a rematch against the Patriots, and everybody favored the Patriots to win that Super Bowl in Super Bowl 46. And he comes and he upsets the Patriots again. I think why that is, and why I admire him, is because his players have belief in their coach, and their players actually played for their head coach. Now, when Tom Coughlin first came, I mean, like, people were like, I can't play for this guy. This guy's like chucking fines left, right, and center. I can't work with a coach like that. But then Tom Coughlin kind of changed his ways. He went to the players' level. He kind of got to them the personal level. He was stubborn about his quarterback. He said, like, there was a lot of pressure on Eli, saying, well, Eli's not capable of playing in the NFL. He's not a starter. The Giants should get another quarterback, blah, blah, blah. But he said, no, Eli Manning is my quarterback, and that's just the way it is. And his philosophy proved that to be a success, So, I mean, with Tom Coughlin, he's always had smart coaching stuff. He always developed strong coaches in his team. Like, you had Steve Spagnuolo, you had like Kevin Gilbride, who was a very, very good offensive coordinator at the time. The way he manages the team and the way he motivates the team is pretty special. It really is special, And his kind of philosophy, I think a lot of coaches at NFL actually lean on now. It's like, and a lot of coaches actually still look up to Coughlin, saying, well, Coughlin's philosophy of just like, never say die attitude, always stay loyal and always stay honest and fair to your players. That is, I feel that, I think the game, especially now these days, it's changed. Like, you don't get that kind of same loyalty that you do anymore. Regarding players and head coaches, and I think Coughlin has had that, with his players. Like, he's always kept a certain loyalty with his players, and I think his whole persona and his strong personality. I think a lot of the players looked at him as a father figure because he is actually the oldest head coach to win a Super Bowl ring. He's no young turkey. I believe he's like 73 now. So, a lot of the players were looking up to him as if like he is an actual father figure to me. And that's why the players respected him and for what he is and the way he expresses his meetings but even before the 2011 Super Bowl and Super Bowl 46, he said to his players, he goes, I've never coached a bunch of players like you guys, but you guys, I love you. Now, I mean, I would even say that too. If I was a manager of a team, I wouldn't say I love all of you. I mean, that's a bit maybe too much, but I mean, he did. And I think the players took it in a sense like, wow, this coach actually looks up to us like as if we're his own grandchildren or his own children, as his own family. And I think that's what makes Coughlin special. I think it's just his personality and the fact that he should still be the Giants head coach. I mean, I feel like he's been harshly done by the Giants organization. I feel like the Mara family probably screwed him over, to be quite frank. I think a lot of the Giants' problems at the time was not Coughlin's fault. I think a lot of it was actually down to the GM. The GM failed to meet the team's needs that they needed to do, and he failed to do that. Hence now why they're going through the whole restart phase at the moment at New York. So, in my opinion, if it was up to me, he will still be my head coach, because at the end of the day, he's won you 2 Super Bowls, and especially since the last time the Giants won the Super Bowl, which was 1990, where until 2007, the Giants have been struggling all this time, and then Coughlin came and changed that. He won you 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, even though he didn't make the playoff. Now, the problem is because A, the team was aging, B, the GM wasn't making enough draft choices. So if it was up to me, he will still be my head coach, and eventually he probably would have retired, probably along with Eli as well. Who knows? But, I think the way the Giants treated Coughlin for me was tough. And I think as a fan, it was hard to see sometimes, he didn't deserve that. And I think if this was another franchise, he probably would have had a bit more respect than force him to resign. But, it is what it is. But that's my take on Tom Coughlin. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's been very informative. You know, what do you think about Tom Coughlin? Where do you think he stands? Do you think he should be a Hall of Famer? Do you think he is a good coach? Do you think he's a bad coach? Tell me. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks again for watching, guys. You know, comment, like, and subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.